McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Kellogg's. They hire teams of food scientists, not chefs, literal scientists in labs running trials, tweaking formulas, adjusting the sugar, salt, fat, down to the decimal point to make their food as delicious as possible. But that's not their only intent. It's not out of the kindness of their heart. They're engineering the exact combination that lights your brain up with dopamine, just enough to keep you reaching in their bag, just enough to make the next bite feel necessary, and just enough that if you stop eating, it feels a little uncomfortable. It's not an accident that you can't just eat one. I can't stop! It's how the scientists designed it. And doesn't that make you a little uncomfortable that someone else is controlling your behavior? Of course, the control isn't gonna be obvious. It's the same way social media algorithms control what you see and how you think without you ever realizing it. To understand how they control what you eat, you first need to understand what it is that they are exploiting. For most of human history, food was the difference between life or death. When your ancestors found something sweet or high energy like honey, their brains lit up because tasty food also meant that it was nutritious. It made them feel good, but more importantly, it made them wake up the next day and chase that feeling. The humans whose dopamine systems fired the strongest and addicted them to eating and so surviving were the ones who survived. And you are the product of those humans. So that wiring is in you right now, and the food companies hire scientists to exploit that for their own interests. Money. They get unhealthy ingredients and cover them up with the scientists' formulas to hijack that dopamine system. Your brain lights up as if you've eaten something nutrient-dense and survival-worthy, but this time, there's no nutrients that follow the dopamine hit like it did with the honey. Your brain is being tricked because it doesn't actually taste nutrients, it tastes energy. And that's thanks to evolution, which took a shortcut in developing the brain to say, if it's high in calories, then it's tasty, because nutrients were guaranteed to follow back in those days. That's, of course, not true anymore. The Industrial Revolution came and gave us the technology to separate the nutrients from the food, leaving us with empty calories. Look at flour. You'd think it's healthy because it started out as corn or wheat, but the refining process kills it, taking out things like fiber, something that literally feeds and protects our cells, leaving us with just starch, which is just a complex form of sugar. And since there's no fiber to slow down your digestion, the starch hits your bloodstream, spikes your blood sugar, and leaves you hungry in just a few minutes. It's a massive hit of energy with zero substance. I'm talking hyperbole, of course. It's the same story with corn oil. We know that a kernel of corn is healthy, has vitamins and minerals, but again, they all get pressed away, leaving us with just isolated, unhealthy oil. But why would the companies go through all this trouble of separation? It has to decrease their profits, right? No, quite the opposite. The healthy parts not only have important fiber, minerals, vitamins, but they also have enzymes and moisture everywhere, and all those oxidize and cause the food to go bad faster. So you get raw. So whole foods with their whole stack of nutrients are really expensive for companies to store and transport. They need refrigeration. They can't sit out in warehouses for months. So the companies strip away all that trouble and refine the food down to simple ingredients like a bunch of carbs. Guys, they remove so much of the food that it stops becoming food in a sense. In fact, when all this processing started, people were getting diseases from all the nutrient deficiencies to the point where the government had to step in and mandate the rich companies to enrich their products, meaning they'll add back in some synthetic vitamins. But even then, there's a lot of things missing, like fiber. In the end, the company has a lighter product for transport, lower storage costs, less risk overall with a longer shelf life, so more people have time to buy it and more money for the giant corporation. Now the puzzle pieces come together. Cheap ingredients plus dopamine exploitation equals lots of money. Less than half of a McDonald's McNugget is chicken. Crazy, right? The rest is just cheap filler made from the refinement process like corn flour or wheat flour to add bulk to the nugget without adding any what? Nutrition! Exactly. See, you're getting it now. Those starches are then made to taste super good with additives like yeast extract, which tricks your brain into thinking all that filler material you're eating is protein when it's actually just a bunch of carbs. Sodium phosphate keeps whatever this thing really is creamy instead of dry, and in return, it hurts your kidneys and bones. Then you have dextrose, which is another corn-derived sugar that blasts your brain with dopamine. So your pleasure signals are gonna start firing, making you crave more McNuggets, and soon enough, these cheap carbs are gonna enter your blood, spike your insulin, and then crash right back down, leaving you hungry for more. More of those McFilla nuggets. Get it? Like filler and nuggets? Anyway, do you understand what I'm saying? I didn't even have to mention the deep frying oils that clog your arteries. McDonald's is selling you super cheap carbs with little to no nutrients, making them taste wonderful, tricking your body to thinking it's being fed when it's actually starving, just to have you craving more of their food. Oh no, this can't be. I can make the same case for Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. It's literally a bowl of cheap corn. Look at this guy. It used to be a nice, beautiful, plump corn kettle with healthy fiber and vitamins, and now it's all wrinkly and sad and covered up in sugar that's also corn-derived. This box has no nutritional value, hyperbole, and an extraordinary amount of energy in the form of sugar. And when it enters your body, it gets digested in minutes, leaving me hungry, craving more, just what the big companies want. All right, what about Coca-Cola? Sugar, water. Okay. Wait, is that Coke you're using instead of milk? Now, people understand the food that they're being served is unhealthy, but regardless of that fact, they continue buying it, telling the companies they're okay with the quality of the food. But as eerie as this might sound, I don't believe these people thought that themselves, that they're okay with this unhealthy food. They were indoctrinated by the corporations through aggressive and psychological advertising and marketing. Corporations made it normal for customers to see shopping carts loaded with frozen pizza, cereals, snacks. Normal to see someone eating a McDonald's sausage and egg biscuit for breakfast. Normal to drink Coke bright in the morning. This didn't happen by accident, and all of it goes back to money. Companies lobbying and strategically creating an environment to serve their interests. They profit while our health gets worse. This cycle only breaks if we realize what's happening. That's the whole point of this video. And the solution is simple. Stop buying their product. Companies follow money, not morality. When the demand drops, they'll re-strategize. They'll make real food if we push for it, if we say that's the only thing we'll buy. Our wallet has the power to change this. Stop buying their product and they'll listen.